Well, it's time to feed some hay. The girls are waiting on me. Let me show you how we feed hay around here. Well, I got 2 rows left, and this is currently February of 2019. This hay was not cut in 2018. This is actually what we call last year's hay, or 2-year-old hay, or whatever. It was cut in 2017, summer of 2017. And as you can see, probably, hopefully, this is string baled hay. This has blue and red baling twine in it, or around it. Around here, there's 2 different kinds of processing. We very seldom see, or the hay balers very seldom use around here the white plastic wrap, where it's just completely encased in plastic. I don't know whether it's a cost thing, or whether it's maybe it's hot and humid here, and the hay would sweat, condensate underneath, and therefore rot. I really don't know. I've seen some, but I don't see it very often at all. So this is what we normally use or see is either twine or net wrapped. I don't have any net wrap to show you, but net wrap is just what it infers. It's just a colored wrap that just encases. You can still see through it, but it's a little bit, it keeps the hay longer. Rain doesn't get through it as much. But it just wraps around it a couple of times, and you lift the hay up, and you grab a hold. If you can find the end of it, grab a hold of the end, and while the hay is off the ground, you can just kind of unwrap it, unwind it. With string tied hay, it's a little bit different. You cut the strings, pull the strings out from under it on either side, and then you'll then the hay is free and just ready to feed. Let me show you how we cut the strings. Okay, so I've got my little Mora knife. This is just one of the many Mora, M-O-R-A, Mora knives from Sweden that I have. Mora knife. Got this for, no, I was gonna say I got this for Christmas. I got a shorter one for Christmas, about a 2-inch blade for Christmas. And man, it's a neat little knife. But anyway, this is just one of them. This is a stainless steel. They come in stainless or carbon. I love them. I've shown them to you before. The carbons do get rusty, the stainless don't. But anyway, I'll put a link to this. If you don't own a Mora, they're like 12 bucks, 10, 12, 15 bucks. It depends on the knife, but that is a really, really nice knife for a cheap price. So let me show you how we cut the strings on this. Again, the strings are just wrapped around. For a good sharp knife, cut the strings. I usually hold them, don't know why, but I cut all the way around. I used to cut a few of them and pull them out, but I've found that it's just easier to go ahead and cut them all. And I'll just go ahead and let them fall to the ground. Sometimes you can see them on top real easy. Sometimes they're kind of embedded down in the hay because they've pulled it so tight. And then usually at both edges, there's a big wad of it. When it finishes the baling process, I think it ties up several strands. So pull all those strands out. Now I've got them laying on the ground. I'll show you what we do next. So picking it up is going to help break the friction, the tension between the string and the ground, and they should slide out of there. Unless I missed one of them, one of the strings, they should slide out pretty easy now. Like butter. Like butter. One thing you don't do is forget your knife. Trust me, I have. Even at 15 bucks, you don't want to forget your knife. You also don't want to forget your strings. those strings will play havoc with a mower, with a tiller, with just about anything you run through the pasture. So always clean up your strings. I think there's also a problem with your cows ingesting a string, but typically they won't. They'll eat around it if you happen to leave one. And sometimes there's a small one in there. It can happen. But always pick up your strings on the ground. That can be a huge mess. I'm still finding strings of hay that I probably fed 15 years ago and did not do what I'm preaching to you. Usually got a loose one. And I just take and wrap it around it all. Put that in the garbage. You want that in the garbage and not around the bottom of your mower. Trust me. There's also two schools of thought as far as how to feed it, what position to feed it in. Again, this is older hay, so it's got that layer on the outside that's weathered, and they won't eat that hardly. They got to be probably starving to death before they eat the brown, the darker brown stuff. They want that. What they'll do if you set it down just like that with the outside edge exposed, they will burrow into the very center of it, and they will just basically hollow it out on both sides, and then it will kind of collapse on itself, and then they'll start eating everything else. They'll skip over this, pull it out of the way, or do whatever they got to do, but they'll eat the rest of it pretty well. This, as you can see, probably has maybe a 4-inch, 6-inch, 4-inch probably ring around it that they're probably not going to eat that dark hay there, and that's just from rain and weather. But I used to, and still sometimes do, set it down just like that and let them get at it from the sides. Easier for them, but I feel like they waste more of it. And some of you that have been feeding for a while and feed a lot of cows, you can probably tell me whether or not that's true. Tell me how you feed. Leave that in the comment section below. But what I've done lately, and the reason I'm telling you now with the tractor off and everything, is because I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of time when I get out there, because they're going to run to meet me and I'm not going to be able to talk a whole lot, and you're not going to hear me over the tractor anyway. But what I've done lately is I've got the ring out there, and I just pick this up and drop it down in the middle of that ring. And I'm trying to decide on whether I want to do that. I may just take it down there and feed it as is, pick up the ring and put the ring on. I think I will, just to show you. I'll put the ring, set it down just like that. You'll see them start pulling, because I'll let you watch. You'll see them start pulling at the very middles of it, and it's packed tight. Man, that thing is tight, so they have to really reach in there. And most of you know cows only have teeth on the bottom. They got gums on the top, so they're working them teeth and gums trying to pull that hay out there. But they do it. They sure do it. Let's get out there with some hay. They're hungry. Alright, let me practice what I preach. I found a straggler. That's how you leave them out there, is you don't get all of them. There's a straggler. We want to keep him. I should have walked all the way around it, and I didn't do it. And I normally do. Walk all the way around. Make sure ain't no strings. Let's open a gate. You know, I don't know how y'all close your gates, but a very simple way to do it is have a chain. Have that chain just on it, loop over the top. If you don't have a goat or something that's going to get out, or you can even make it a little tighter, that's just a real simple way to keep cows in anyway. Another thing they'll do is just rub all over it, every time. I don't know why, but they love that. Look at them go. Why in the world they do that, I'll never know. Maybe they're trying to take that outside bad layer off, but they do it even on a nice, pristine roll of hay. This year, good hay. I don't know why, but they do that every time. Then they'll start eating. She's Oreo done said, y'all can run it if you want to, I'm gonna eat it. All right, let me pick up the ring. I can do that by hand. In fact, let me just show you how to do it by hand. Now that old ring, gosh, I don't know how old it is. It has seen better days, got a bend or two in it, probably of my doing, who knows. But I'll set that on top of that. The diameter of this is just about what the diameter of that is, so it's a little tight to get over it sometimes. Anyway, let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at her reaching in right in the middle, getting that hay. Let's put a ring on it. They don't like it. They don't like the ring, but you might be asking, why do you put a ring on it if you don't know much about feeding livestock? They will waste it if you let them get in it, step on it, pee on it, everything else. So you put a ring on it to keep it as best you can, to keep it in more pristine condition, so they'll eat more of it. They'll waste, I don't know, 20-30% of it if they don't if you don't have a ring on it. And like I say, so this being year-old hay, last year's hay, or I guess year before's hay, 2017 hay, it's already got a lot of waste with that ring around it. So we don't want to waste any more than we have to. But they reach in there with that gum and them teeth and yank it out. Let's put a ring on it. If you like it, then you better put a ring on it. Yeah, get out the way. You don't like the ring, I know. Put it tight. There you go. That'll be waste anyway. We're not gonna eat that. It's real brown and nasty. Well, like I said, they will eat the center out of it, and then it will just collapse, and you can almost see through it. And then they'll finish it up, you know, all except the part they're not gonna eat, but they do a pretty good job. So I think while I'm down here, I'm gonna take off my fork, because it's gonna be about 2 weeks. It takes them about 2 weeks, 3 cows about 2 weeks to eat that roll. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the fork off, put my bucket on, and I will give you just a quick preview of that. One of these days I need to do show you putting on and off with a quick attach. Let me just give you a little teaser.